Let us begin with a fundamental principle. The world you see around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Every circumstance, every person, every event in your life is a mirror showing you the contents of your own consciousness. This may seem daunting at first, but I assure you it is the most liberating realization you can have. For if the world is a reflection of your inner state, then to change your world, you need only change your inner state. And how do you change your inner state? By relaxing and letting go of your old beliefs, your old patterns of thought, and embracing the new. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on a stage. The role you have been playing up until now has been assigned to you by society, by your upbringing, by the beliefs you have accumulated over the years. But now you have the power to step out of that role and choose a new one. You can be anyone you want to be, have anything you want to have, do anything you want to do. But here's the catch: you must first relax and let go of the old role. You must release your grip on the identity that no longer serves you. This is where many people stumble. They cling desperately to what they know, even if it makes them unhappy, because they fear the unknown. Yet, my friends, it is in the unknown that all possibility lies. It is in the void, the space of pure potential, that desires can take form. So I urge you, relax your grip on the known. Let go of your preconceptions about who you are and what you're capable of. For in that release, you create space for something new to enter. Now you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I let go when I want something so badly? How can I relax when my desire feels so urgent? And to this I say, your very wanting, your very striving is what keeps your desire at bay. Consider for a moment the nature of wanting. When you want something, you are affirming its absence in your life. You are saying, I do not have this thing, and therefore I want it. But remember, the world is a reflection of your inner state. If you constantly affirm lack, you will experience lack. Instead, I invite you to adopt a new stance. Rather than wanting, choose knowing. Know that what you desire is already yours. Feel the reality of it now, in this very moment. For in the realm of imagination, which is the true creative force in the universe, there is no distinction between what is real and what is imaginary. Let me share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives, the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume the feeling of youth fulfilled, if you live from the end as if your desire has already been realized, it must become your reality. But here's the crucial point. You must relax into this assumption. You must let go of any anxiety, any doubt, any need to make it happen. For in trying to force your desire into being, you are actually pushing it away. Think of it like this. Have you ever tried to remember to name a name? Or in fact, the harder you try, the more elusive it became. And then, when you relaxed and let it go, it suddenly popped into your mind. This is the same principle at work in the manifestation of your desires. When you relax and let go, you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to work on your behalf. You open yourself to inspiration, to synchronicities, to opportunities that you could never have planned or forced into being. So how do we put this into practice? How do we relax and let go while still maintaining the assumption of our desire fulfilled? The answer lies in your imagination. Every night, as you drift off to sleep, create a scene in your mind that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you can. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having what you want. And then let it go. Release it into the universe, knowing that it is done. During your waking hours, whenever thoughts of lack or doubt creep in, gently redirect your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Don't fight the negative thoughts. That only gives them more power. Instead, relax and shift your focus to the reality you wish to experience. Remember, my friends, relaxation is not passivity. It is not giving up or resigning your circumstances. Rather, it is a state of alert receptivity. It is being open to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. When you are relaxed, you are in harmony with the creative forces of the universe. You are allowing life to flow through you, rather than trying to force life to conform to your will. And in this state of relaxed allowance, miracles can happen. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this principle. There was once a man who desperately wanted a promotion at work. He had been passed over several times, and with each rejection, his desire grew more intense, more desperate. He would lie awake at night, strategizing and worrying, trying to figure out how to make it happen. One day he came across the principle we're discussing tonight. He decided to try it. Instead of striving and pushing, he relaxed. He imagined himself already in the new position, feeling the satisfaction and confidence it brought. He let go of his anxiety and his need to control the outcome. To his amazement, within weeks, he was called into his boss's office. Not only was he offered the prince seeking, but he was offered an even better position, one that hadn't even existed before. The company had created a new role that perfectly matched his skills and passions. This is the power of relaxing and letting go. When you release your grip on how things should unfold, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your current imagination. Now I want to address a common misconception. Some people here relax and let go and think it means sitting back and doing nothing, waiting for their desires to magically appear. This is not what I'm advocating. Relaxation does not mean inaction, it means inspired action. When you are relaxed and aligned with your desire, you will be moved to take action. But it will not feel like effort or struggle. It will feel natural, joyful, even effortless. Think of a master musician playing their instrument. They are relaxed, in a state of flow, yet things move with precision and skill. They are not forcing the music, they are allowing it to flow through to them. This is how you want to approach the creation of your desires. Be relaxed, be in flow, and allow inspired action to move through you. Trust that the right actions will become clear to you at the right time. Another aspect of relaxing and letting go is releasing attachment to the outcome. This can be challenging, especially when we want something very badly. But attachment creates tension, and tension blocks the flow of our good. Instead of being attached to a specific outcome, be open to the possibility that something even better than what you've imagined could come to you. Trust in the wisdom of the universe to bring you what is truly best for you. This doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means holding them lightly with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. It means being willing to be surprised and delighted by how your desires manifest. Remember, my friends, the universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack, no limitation, except in our own minds. When we relax and let go of our limiting beliefs, we open ourselves to this abundance. Now let's delve deeper into the idea that it is already yours. This is a powerful concept that, when fully grasped, can transform your entire approach to the manifestation. In the physical world, we are accustomed to a linear progression of events. We want something, we work towards it, and eventually we achieve it. But in the realm of consciousness, which is the true source of all creation, time does not exist in the same way. In consciousness, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The version of you who has already achieved your desire exists now, just as surely as the version of you sitting here listening to these words. Your task is not to create your desire, it already exists. Your task is to align your consciousness with the version of reality where your desire is fulfilled. This is why I often say, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you do this, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desire. You are stepping into the reality where it is already yours. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a radio with infinite stations. Each station represents a different version of reality. Right now, you might be tuned to the station where your desire is still unfulfilled. But by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are turning the dial to the station where your desire is already a fact. The physical world may take some time to catch up with this new frequency. But make no mistake, the moment you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is done. The rest is just the playing out of events in the physical world. This is why it's so crucial to relax and let go. When you know that it's already yours, there's no need to strain or struggle. There's no need to manipulate external circumstances. Your only job is to maintain the consciousness of your transit field and allow the external world to reshape itself around your assumption. Let's explore this further with a practical example. Suppose you desire a loving, fulfilling relationship. Instead of focusing on the lack of this relationship in your current experience, you would assume the feeling of already being in this perfect relationship. How would you feel if you were already in this relationship? Perhaps you'd feel loved, secure, happy, and fulfilled. You'd go through your day with a sense of companionship, even when physically alone. You'd feel appreciated and valued. Your task then is to generate these feelings within yourself now, regardless of your current circumstances. As you do this, you are tuning yourself to the frequency of this relationship. You are stepping into the version of reality where this relationship already exists. This doesn't mean you pretend to be in a relationship when you're not. It means you embody the essence of what that relationship would bring you. You become the person who is already in that loving relationship. And here's the beautiful part. As you do this, you become magnetic to that very experience. The external world must reshape itself to match your inner state. This is the law of assumption at work. But remember, you must relax and let go of how and when this will manifest. Your job is not to make it happen, but to allow it to happen. Trust that the universe will bring this relationship to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. This principle applies to every desire, whether it's for a new job, improved health, financial abundance, or any other aspiration. Whatever it is you want, it already exists in the realm of infinite possibilities. Your task is to let go of doubt and anxiety and step into the consciousness of already having it. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing these principles. But Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do something to make our desires a reality? The answer is yes, action is often part of the process. But it's inspired action that comes from a place of knowing, not desperate action that comes from a place of lack. When you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with your desire. These actions will feel natural and effortless. You won't have to force yourself to do them. You'll be drawn to do them. For instance, if you are assuming the state of being your ideal career, you might find yourself naturally drawn to take a certain course, or to reach out to a particular person, or to apply for a specific job. These actions arise not from a place of lack or need, but from a place of alignment with your desire. The key is to take these inspired actions without attachment to the outcome. You do them because they feel right, not because you're trying to make something happen. This is the balance between action and letting go. Remember, relaxation doesn't mean passivity. It means being in a state of relaxed readiness, open to guidance and inspiration. It means trusting that the right actions will become clear to you at the right time. Now let's address another common concern. But what if I relax and let go and nothing happens? This fear often keeps people stuck in a cycle of forcing and striving. The truth is, something is always happening, even if you can't see it yet. When you relax and let go while maintaining the assumption of your desire fulfilled, you set in motion forces beyond your conscious awareness. Think of planting a seed. Once you plant it and water it, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You know that beneath the surface, unseen to your eyes, the seed is germinating and roots are forming. This is how manifestation works. When you plant the seed of your desire in your subconscious mind through the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then relax and let go, you give the truth to germinate. You allow the unseen forces of the universe to work on your behalf. Your desire is making its way to you through channels you may not be aware of. People are being moved, circumstances are being arranged, opportunities are being created, all to bring your desire to fruition. Your job during this time is to maintain your faith. Keep living from the end, feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. Find joy and gratitude in your present circumstances, knowing that they are transforming to match your new assumption. This brings us to another crucial point. The importance of living in the present moment. Many people make the mistake of putting their happiness on hold until their desire manifests. They think I'll be happy when I get that job, or I'll feel content when I find my perfect partner. But this is a trap. Remember, your outer world reflects your inner state. If you're constantly projecting your happiness into the future, you're affirming that happiness is not here and now. And so it will always remain in the future, just out of reach. Instead, choose to be happy now. Choose to feel fulfilled now. This doesn't mean denying your desire for growth or change. It means finding the essence of what you're seeking, be it love, security, fulfillment, creativity, in your present circumstances. When you do this, you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. You become the person who already has what you want. And from this place of present fulfillment, you allow your external reality to shift and change. This is the true meaning of it's already yours. It's not just a future possibility. It's a future reality you can step into now through the power of your assumption. Let's delve deeper into the art of letting go. For many, this is the most challenging aspect of manifestation. We're so accustomed to trying to control outcomes, to make things happen through sheer force of will. But true power lies in surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your desire. It means releasing your attachment to how and when it will manifest. It means trusting in the perfect unfolding of your good. Think of it like this: when you order something online, you don't spend every moment worrying about how it will get to you. You trust that it's on its way. You go about your life, knowing that at the right time your package will arrive. This is how you want to approach your desires. Once you place your order with the universe by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, let it go. Trust that it's on its way to you. Go about your life, enjoying each moment, knowing that at the perfect time, your desire will manifest. Letting go also means releasing any need to control other people or manipulate circumstances. Remember, the entire universe is within you. The people and circumstances in your life are reflections of your consciousness. As you change your consciousness, they will naturally change to match it. This is incredibly liberating. It means you don't have to try to change anyone else. You don't have to struggle against circumstances. Your only task is to change your own consciousness to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then relax and allow the outer world to conform to your new assumption. Now, I want to address a common pitfall that many fall into on this journey: the temptation to constantly check for results. This is like digging up a seed every day to see if it's growing. It stems from doubt and impatience, and it can actually hinder the manifestation of your desire. Instead of looking for proof in the external world, turn your attention inward. How do you feel? Are you maintaining the feeling of the wishful again? Are you again? This is where your power lies. If you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thought or feeling, don't judge yourself. Simply redirect your attention back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is a practice of any practice. It becomes easier and more natural over time. Remember, my friends, you are not bound by your past or by your current circumstances. In any moment, you have the power to choose a new state of consciousness. And as you do, you literally step into a new reality. This is the miracle of your imagination. It is the portal through which you can access any reality you choose. When you imagine and feel yourself into a new state, you are actually experiencing that reality now. And as you persist in that new state, it must externalize in your world. Let me share with you another principle that can be immensely helpful on this journey: the law of reversibility. This law states that just as physical events can cause you to experience certain feelings, those feelings, when generated without the physical event, can cause the physical event to occur. For instance, if you received a large sum of money, you would likely feel a sense of financial security and abundance. But the law of reversibility says that if you generate and maintain those feelings of financial security and abundance without the physical event, you will draw that physical event to you. This is why it's so crucial to focus on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. rather than the specific circumstances you think will bring that feeling. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is what attracts the reality. So I invite you to become aware of the feelings you're cultivating throughout your day. Are they aligned with your desires, or are they reflecting lack and limitation? Remember, you have the power to choose your feelings in any moment. This brings us to another important point, the role of gratitude in manifestation. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations you can embody. When you're grateful, you're affirming that you already have what you desire. You're living from the end. Make it a practice to find things to be grateful for each day, especially things that align with your desires. If you desire financial abundance, be grateful for every penny you have. If you desire a loving relationship, be grateful for the love you already have in your life, in whatever form it takes. As you cultivate gratitude, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. You open yourself to receive more of what you're grateful for. This is the power of appreciation. Now let's address another aspect of relaxing and letting go, the release of limiting beliefs. Often what stands between us and our desires are the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world. These beliefs might sound like I'm not good enough, money is hard to come by, love always ends in heartbreak, or success requires struggle. These beliefs create tension and resistance, blocking the free flow of our good. The key to releasing these beliefs is not to fight them or try to force them out of your mind. Remember, what you resist persists. Instead, simply choose a new assumption. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, gently redirect your attention to its opposite. If you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, redirect to, I am more than enough. If you catch the thought, money is hard to come by, shift to, abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. Don't try to believe the new thought. Simply choose and feel the relief and expansion that comes with it. Over time, as you persist in this practice, the new assumption will become your dominant belief. This is the essence of mental diet, consciously choosing the thoughts and assumptions you will entertain. Just as you're careful about what you put into your physical body, be mindful of what you feed your mind. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as true whatever you impress upon it with feeling. So feed it the thoughts and feelings that align with your desires. As you do this, you may find that your desires themselves begin to shift and evolve. This is natural and beautiful. As you raise your consciousness, as you release limiting beliefs that align with higher truths, your desires naturally refine themselves. You may find that what you once desperately wanted no longer holds the same appeal. You may discover new desires arising that are more aligned with your true self. Welcome these shifts. They are signs of your growth and evolution. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of self-love in this process. Many people approach manifestation from a place of lack, believing that once they have what they want, then they'll be worthy of love and acceptance. But this gets it backwards. Self-love is not the result of manifesting your desires, it's the foundation upon which all successful manifestation is built. When you truly love and accept yourself as you are, you open yourself to receive all the good that life has to offer. So make self-love a priority. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Celebrate your strengths. Accept your perceived flaws as unique aspects of your beautiful self. As you do this, you raise your vibration and become magnetic to your desires. Remember, you are not separate from your desire. You are one with it. In fact, it's a sign for something is life calling you to express more of who you truly trust. Honor that call. Step into the version of yourself that already has what you desire. Now, to be the end of our time together, I want to remind you of a fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your life. Not your circumstances, not other people, not some external force. You are the author of your story. With every thought, every feeling, every assumption, you are writing the script of your life. And at any moment, you have the power to write a new chapter. So I invite you to step fully into this power. Claim it, own it. Use it consciously and deliberately to create the life you desire. Remember, relaxing and letting go is not about passivity or resignation. It's about aligning yourself with the creative forces of the universe. It's about allowing your good flow to you without resistance. Don't force it, don't struggle. Don't try to make it happen. Instead, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Alive from that state. And then relax, let go of the universe to bring it to pass in ways that will delight and amaze you. My dear friends, as we conclude this talk, I want you to know that everything you desire is already yours. It exists now in the realm of infinite possibility. Your task is simply to tune your consciousness to its frequency, to step into the version of reality where it's already a fact. Relax into the knowing that it is done. Let go of doubt, anxiety, and anxiety control. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your good. Live each day from the assumption that you are who you want to be, that you have what you desire. As you do this, you will find your world transforming before your very eyes. People, circumstances, events will rearrange themselves to match your new assumption. This is the law, and it never fails. So go with confidence, with faith, with the knowing that the entire universe is conspiring in your favor. Relax, let go, and allow the miracles to unfold in your life. Remember, it's already yours. Now step into that reality and claim it. Thank you, and may your lives be filled with the joy of your desires fulfilled. In this vast universe of infinite possibilities, you are a creator, a divine being clothed in human form. The life you experience, the reality you perceive, is not something thrust upon you by external forces. It is, in fact, a reflection of your inner world, a manifestation of your deepest beliefs and assumptions. And herein lies the transformative power of acting as if you are the best and believing in your future. To truly understand this concept, we must first grasp the fundamental nature of reality. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, are not solid, immutable facts. They are instead fluid expressions of consciousness, shaped and molded by your thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, your assumptions about yourself and the world. When you learn to act as if you are the best, you are not engaging in mere pretense or hollow affirmation. You are in fact aligning yourself with a profound truth, that you are already the best version of yourself in potential, waiting to be expressed in your three-dimensional reality. This is not about ego or superiority over others. It is about recognizing and embodying your divine nature, your inherent greatness. Consider for a moment the life of a great oak tree. Within its tiny acorn lies the full potential of the mighty tree it will become. The acorn doesn't strive or struggle to become an oak. It simply is an oak in potential, waiting for the right conditions to express its true nature. In the same way, your greatness, your best self, is not something you need to acquire or achieve. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Now you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I act as if I'm the best when my current circumstances seem to contradict this? This, my dear friends, is where the true power of your imagination comes into play. Your imagination is not merely a faculty for daydreaming or escaping reality. It is the very workshop in which your reality is crafted. When you learn to use your imagination to see yourself as the best, to feel the reality of your desired future, you set in motion a series of events that must inevitably lead to the manifestation of that reality. This is not wishful thinking or positive affirmation. This is the activation of a spiritual law, as certain as the law of gravity. Let me share with you a powerful technique to help you embody this state of being the best. I call it the I remember when exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself in the future having achieved all that you desire. Now, from that future perspective, look back on your current circumstances and say to yourself, I remember when I struggled with your current challenge. How wonderful it is to have overcome that and become your desired state. As you engage in this exercise, allow yourself to feel the reality of this future state. Feel the confidence, the joy, the sense of accomplishment. Let these feelings permeate your entire being. This is not mere visualization. It is the activation of a state of consciousness that will begin to reshape your reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this just self-deception? Am I not lying to myself if I say what you consider to be the truth of your current circumstances is itself a form of self-deception? Your current reality is nothing more than the outpicturing of your past thoughts and beliefs. By choosing to act as if you are the best, you are not deceiving yourself. You are in fact aligning yourself with a higher truth, the truth of your divine nature and limitless potential. Consider the life of any great achiever in history. Before they manifested their greatness in the world, they first had to conceive of it in their minds. They had to act as if they were already great, even when the world told them otherwise. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of a future of racial equality at a time when such a notion seemed impossible. Steve Jobs envisioned a world where computers would be personal and intuitive, when most people couldn't imagine a use for them in their homes. These visionaries didn't wait for circumstances to change before they believed in their future. They believed first, and their belief reshaped reality. This brings us to a crucial point in our discussion, the importance of persistence. Learning to act as if you are the best is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice, a new way of being in the world. There will be times when your old beliefs and habits try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when the external world seems to contradict your inner knowing. In these moments, you must stand firm in your new assumption. Remember, the physical world you see around you is like a shadow, always lagging behind the light that casts it. That light is your consciousness. When you change your consciousness by acting as if you are the best, it may take some time for your physical reality to catch up. But catch up it must, for this is the law of your being. Let us now delve deeper into the second part of our topic, believing in future. This belief is not a mere hope or wish that things will somehow get better. It is a rock-solid knowing, an unshakable faith in the inevitability of your desired future. This kind of belief has a power that can move mountains, that can reshape entire lives. To cultivate this belief in your future, you must learn to live from the end. This means mentally occupying the state of your fulfilled desire, feeling it to be true right now, even before it has manifested in your physical reality. When you do this, you set up a tension between your inner experience and your outer reality. This tension must be resolved, and it can only be resolved in one way, by your outer reality conforming to your inner experience. Imagine for a moment that you are an archer. Your desired future is the target and your belief is the arrow. The strength of your belief determines the force with which the arrow flies. When you believe weakly, doubting and second-guessing yourself, your arrow falls short. But when you believe with all your heart, with unwavering faith, your arrow flies true and strikes the bullseye of your desire. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about hard work and effort? Surely we can't just believe and have everything handed to us. My dear friends, action certainly has its place. But the action that springs from a state of being your best self, from a place of unshakable belief in your future, is of a different quality altogether. When you act from this elevated state of consciousness, your actions are inspired. You find yourself naturally doing the right things, being in the right place at the right time. It's as if the entire universe conspires to support your new self-concept. This is not coincidence or luck. It is the natural result of aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe through your imagination and belief. Let me share with you a powerful practice to strengthen your belief in your future. I call it the living in the end meditation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax. Now, imagine yourself in a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? As you immerse yourself in this scene, allow the feeling of wish fulfilled to permeate your entire being. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment. Stay with this feeling for as long as you can. When you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you throughout your day. As you practice this regularly, you'll find that your belief in your future becomes stronger and more unshakable. You'll begin to notice small changes in your external reality that confirm your new self-concept. These are signs that your new assumption is taking root, that your reality is beginning to reshape itself to match your inner state. Now let us address a common challenge that many face when trying to act as if they are the best and believe in their future: the opinions and judgments of others. In your journey of self-transformation, you may encounter skepticism or even opposition from those around you. They may question your new behavior, doubt your vision for the future. In these moments, it's crucial to remember that others can only see the shadow of your past beliefs. They are reacting to who you were, not who you are becoming. Their opinions, no matter how well-intentioned, are based on a reality that you are in the process of transcending. Do not let their limited perception dim the brightness of your vision. Instead, see their skepticism as an opportunity to strengthen your new assumption. When faced with doubts, silently affirm to yourself, "They simply cannot see yet what I know to be true. In time, they too will witness the manifestation of my greatness." By maintaining your stance in the face of opposition, you are not being stubborn or delusional. You are in fact demonstrating an unshakable faith in the creative power of your consciousness. As you continue on this path of acting as if you are the best and believing in your future, you may notice an interesting phenomenon. Not only does your external reality begin to change, but your perception of yourself and the world around you also shifts. Things that once seemed impossible now appear within reach. Challenges that once overwhelmed you now become opportunities for growth and expression of your newfound confidence. The shift in perception is a natural result of your elevated consciousness. As you consistently occupy the state of being your best self, you begin to see the world through new eyes. You recognize opportunities that were always there but were previously invisible to you. You find reserves of strength and creativity within yourself that you never knew existed. But let us delve even deeper into this concept of acting as if you are the best. This is not about comparison with others or striving to be superior. It is about fully embodying your unique gifts and talents, about expressing the divine potential that is uniquely yours. When you act as if you are the best, you are honoring the divine spark within you, allowing it to shine forth in all its brilliance. Consider for a moment the great masters in any field, be it art, science, spirituality, or business. What sets them apart is not just their skill or knowledge, but their unwavering belief in their unique vision and abilities. They act as if they are the best, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep reverence for the gift they have been given, and a sense of responsibility to share that gift with the world. You, my dear friends, have been given a unique gift, a unique purpose. When you act as if you are the best, you are stepping into the fullness of that purpose. So declaring to the universe, "I am ready to be all that I am meant to be." And the universe, in its infinite wisdom abundance, responds by aligning circumstances to support your declaration. Now let us turn our attention to the power of persistence in this practice. Acting as if you are the best and believing your future is not a one-time event. It is a continuous choice, a moment-by-moment decision to align yourself with your highest mission. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when old habits of thought try to reassert themselves. In these moments, gentle persistence is key. When you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of thought or behavior, do not judge or criticize yourself. Simply notice what's happening and make a conscious choice to return to your new state of behavior. Remember, you are reprogramming deeply ingrained patterns of thought and belief. This takes time and patience. Be gentle with yourself, but be persistent. One powerful way to maintain this persistence is through the practice of revision. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review the events of your day. If there were any moments where you didn't act as your best self or where you doubted your future, mentally revise those scenes. See them playing out the way you would have wanted them to, with you fully embodying your best self. Feel the satisfaction and joy of this revised scenario. This practice of revision is not about denying what happened or living in fantasy. It is about exercising your creative power, about refusing to let temporary setbacks define your self-concept or your future. By consistently revising your day, you strengthen your new assumption and weaken the hold of old limiting beliefs. As we continue our exploration, let us consider how this practice of acting as if you are the best and believing in your future affects your relationships with others. When you truly embody this state of being, you naturally inspire those around you. Your confidence, your joy, your sense of purpose becomes contagious. Without saying a word, you give others permission to step into their own greatness. Moreover, when you act from this elevated state of consciousness, you naturally attract people and circumstances that align with your new self-concept. You may find that new opportunities present themselves, that doors previously closed suddenly open. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of your shifted consciousness drawing to you that which resonates with your Navu vibration. But what about those times when, despite your best efforts, things don't seem to be changing? When, despite acting as if you are the best and believing in your future, your external reality seems stubbornly resistant to change. This, my dear friends, is when your faith is truly tested and when it has the opportunity to grow strongest. In these moments of apparent stagnation or setback, it's crucial to remember that what you see in your external reality is the manifestation of past thoughts and beliefs. Your new assumption, your new way of being, is like a seed planted in the ground. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not growing. Trust in the unseen forces at work. Know that as long as you maintain your new state of consciousness, change must come. It is law. Let me share with you a powerful affirmation to use in these moments of doubt or impatience. Say to yourself, my external reality is still catching up to my inner knowing. I trust in the perfect unfolding of my desire. Feel the truth of these words. Let them sink deep into your consciousness, reinforcing your unshakable belief in your future. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, I want to address a question that may be arising in your minds. How do I maintain this elevated state of consciousness in the face of life's heavy challenges and disappointments? The answer lies in understanding that your state of consciousness is a choice, one that you have the power to make in every moment. Regardless of what is happening around you, you always have the ability to choose your inner state. This doesn't mean denying or ignoring challenging circumstances. It means choosing to interpret and respond to those circumstances from the perspective of your best self, of someone who believes unshackably in their future. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would my best self respond to this situation? How would someone who is absolutely certain of their bright future handle this? Then act from that place. This is not pretense or fakery. It is a conscious choice to align yourself with your highest potential, even in the face of adversity. Remember, my dear friends, the circumstances of your life are not the truth of who you are. They are simply the outpicturing of your past assumptions and beliefs. As you consistently choose to act as if you are the best and believe in your future, you set in motion your same chain of causation. Your external reality has no choice but to reshape itself to match your new inner state. In conclusion, I urge you to embrace this powerful truth. You are the author of your life story. Every moment is an opportunity to write a new chapter, to reimagine yourself and your future. By learning to act as if you are the best and believing unwaveringly in your future, you tap into the infinite creative power of your consciousness. Go forth from here not as seekers, but as knowers. Know that within you lies the power to reshape your reality. Know that as you align yourself with the truth of divine nature, all things become possible. Trust in the law of your being, which states that your inner assumptions must inevitably manifest in your outer reality. Let your light shine brightly, undiminished by doubt or fear. Act as if you are the best, not out of ego, but out of reverence for the divine potential within you. Believe in your future with an unshakable faith, knowing that you do so, you set in motion forces beyond your current comprehension that will work tirelessly to bring your vision into reality. Thank you for your attention, my beloved audience. May your journey of self-discovery and manifestation be filled with joy, wonder, and the continual unfolding of your limitless potential. Remember, in acting as if you are the best and believing in your future, you are not reaching for something outside yourself. You are simply allowing the truth of who you are to shine forth in all its glory. Trust in this process, persist in this practice, and watch in awe as your life transforms before your very eyes. In this modern age of constant stimulation, where the cacophony of life seems to drown out our inner voice, we often forget the immense power that lies in silence. We have been conditioned to believe that action, noise, and constant movement are the keys to success and fulfillment. But I say to you, my beloved audience, that true power, true creation begins in the silence of your own being. Let us start by understanding what we mean by silence. I am not merely speaking of the absence of external noise, though that too has its place. The silence I speak of is a state of inner stillness, a quieting of the mind's incessant chatter, a cessation of the endless stream of thoughts that often cloud our consciousness and obscure our connection to the divine within us. This silence is not empty. It is full of infinite potential. It is the canvas upon which all of creation is painted. It is the womb of possibility from which all things are born. When you learn to access this silence, to dwell within it, you tap into the very source of all that is, was, and ever will be. Now you might be wondering, but Neville, how can silence be powerful? Surely we must take action to achieve our goals and manifest our desires. To this, I say, look closer at the nature of creation itself. Does a seed struggle to become a tree? Does it strain and strive? No, it simply is, and in its being, it naturally grows into what it is meant to be. This is the essence of letting everything come to you naturally. It is not about passivity or inaction. It is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of creation, about becoming one with the silence from which all things emerge. When you do this, you will find that what you desire comes to you effortlessly, as naturally as a flower turns towards the sun. Consider for a moment the last time you tried to force something to happen in your life. Perhaps it was a relationship, a job opportunity, or a personal goal. Did your striving and struggling bring you closer to your desire? Or did it push it further away? In contrast, think of a time when something wonderful came into your life unexpectedly, effortlessly. It likely happened when you were in a state of acceptance, of inner peace. In other words, when you were in touch with the power of silence. This power of silence is not something external to you. It is not a force you need to acquire or develop. It is your very nature, your true essence. When you strip away all the layers of conditioning, all the beliefs and assumptions about who you are and what you're capable of, what remains is this silent, pure awareness, the I am that is the core of your being. In this silence, you will find that you are not separate from your desires. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. You are the very thing you seek. This realization is the key to letting everything come to you naturally. For when you know that you are one with your desire, that it is already yours in the realm of infinite possibilities, you no longer need to strive or struggle. You can rest in the certainty that what is yours must inevitably come to you. But how, you may ask, do we access this silence in a world that seems designed to keep us distracted and disconnected from our true selves? The answer lies in the practice of stillness. This is not merely about sitting quietly, though that can be a helpful starting point. True stillness is a state of being, a way of moving through the world while remaining centered in the silence of your core. Begin by setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation. This is not meditation in the traditional sense, where you attempt to empty your mind of alls. Instead, it is a gentle turning inward, a shifting of your attention from the external world to the vast, silent space within you. As you do this, you may notice thoughts arising. Do not fight them or try to push them away. Simply observe them, like clouds passing across the sky of your consciousness. As you practice this stillness, you will begin to notice a shift in your perception. The constant mental chatter that once filled your mind will gradually subside, revealing the silence that has always been there, underlying all your thoughts and experiences. This silence is not empty or void, it is alive, vibrant, full of potential. In this silence, you will find that your desires take on a new quality. They no longer feel like something you lack, something you need to acquire or achieve. Instead, they become a natural expression of who you are. You begin to feel the reality of your desires, not as future possibilities, but as present facts. This is the state from which true creation occurs. When you dwell in this silence, letting go of all striving and allowing everything to come to you naturally, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You become a conduit through which your desires can flow into manifestation effortlessly. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, surely can't just sit in silence and expect things to happen. Don't we need to take action in the world? To this I say, of course, action has its place. But the action that springs from silence is of a different quality than action born of anxiety or lack. When you act from a place of inner silence, your actions are inspired. They flow naturally, effortlessly, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly what needs to be done. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words, taking the right steps. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning yourself with the creative flow of the universe through the power of silence. Consider the great artists, inventors, and visionaries throughout history. Their greatest insights and creations often came not through hard work and struggle, but in moments of silence and stillness. Einstein spoke of his theory of relativity coming to him and to him. Mozart described his compositions as arriving fully formed in his mind. These are examples of the power of silence at work, allowing everything to come naturally. But let us delve deeper into this concept of letting everything come to you naturally. This is not about passivity or resignation. It is about cultivating a state of active receptivity. In the silence of your being, you become like a tuning fork, resonating with the frequency of your desires. As you maintain this resonance, you naturally attract experiences, opportunities, and circumstances that are in harmony with your desire. This process is as natural and effortless as a flower turning towards the sun. The flower doesn't strain or struggle. It simply responds to the light. In the same way, when you dwell in the silence of your true self, you naturally orient yourself towards the fulfillment of your desires. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about the challenges and obstacles we face in life? How can we overcome these through silence? My dear friends, what you perceive as obstacles are manifestations of your own doubts and fears. When you enter into the silence of your being, these perceived obstacles begin to dissolve. In the silence, you connect with your true nature as a limitless divine being. From this perspective, challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth and expansion. When you face life's challenges from this place of inner silence, you respond with wisdom and grace rather than reacting from fear or anxiety. Let me share with you a powerful practice to help you cultivate this state of silence and allow everything to come to you naturally. I call it the I am meditation. Find a quiet place where it won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath, allowing your body to relax. Now turn your attention inward and simply observe the phrase of I am in your mind. Don't try to add anything to it. Just be with the pure awareness of I am. As thoughts arise, gently return your focus to I am. As you do this, you may begin to sense a vast silence underlying the I am. This silence is your true nature. Rest in it, be it. As you practice this meditation regularly, you'll find that this sense of silent, pure awareness begins to permeate your daily life. You'll notice a new ease and flow in your experiences. Things that once seemed difficult or impossible will start to resolve themselves naturally. This is the power of silence at work in your life. Let us address a common misconception about this approach to life. Some may think that letting everything come naturally means abandoning all goals and aspirations. Nothing could be further from the truth. The power of silence does not negate desire. It purifies and elevates it. In the silence of your being, your desires are no longer born of lack or fear. They become pure expressions of your divine nature, aligned with the highest good for all. When you allow these purified desires to manifest naturally, you contribute to the harmony in the entire universe. Consider the way a mighty oak tree grows. It doesn't force its way up from the ground. It doesn't strain to produce leaves or branches. It simply expresses its nature, responding to the sun, the rain, the seasons. Yet in doing so, it provides shelter for countless creatures, enriches the soil, produces oxygen, and adds beauty to the world. In the same way, when you allow your desires to manifest naturally from the silence of your being, you become a force for good in the world. Your success, your joy, your fulfillment ripples out, touching and uplifting all those around you. But what about the times when things don't seem to be going our way? When despite our best efforts to remain in silence, the world seems chaotic and our desires feel far from manifestation. This, my dear friends, is when the power of silence is most crucial. In these moments of apparent discord, the temptation is to react, to try to force things back into alignment through sheer will. But I say to you, this is the time to go deeper into the silence. For it is in the depths of silence that you will find the truth that transcends all appearances. In silence, you reconnect with the unchanging reality of your being. You remember that you are not your circumstances, not your emotions, not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which all these things arise and pass away. From this perspective, you can observe the chaos without being swept away by it. As you maintain this silent awareness, you may find that what seemed like obstacles, setbacks, were actually necessary steps in the unfolding of your desire. The silence gives you the wisdom to see the bigger picture, to trust in the perfect timing of the universe. Let me share with you a powerful technique to maintain this silent awareness, even in the midst of life's challenges. I call it the observer practice. Throughout your day, no matter what you're doing, cultivate the habit of observing your thoughts, emotions, and reactions as if you were watching a movie. Don't judge or try to change what you observe. Simply watch with detached interest. As you do this, you'll begin to notice a subtle shift. You'll start to identify less with the content of your experience and more with the silent awareness that observes it all. This practice allows you to maintain your connection to the power of silence, even as you go about your daily activities. It creates a space between stimulus and response, giving you the freedom to choose your reactions rather than being controlled by habitual patterns. Now, let us explore how this power of silence relates to your interactions with others. In our relationships, we often feel compelled to fill every moment with words, to constantly express our thoughts and opinions. But true connection, true understanding often happens in the spaces between words. When you learn to be comfortable with silence in your relationships, you open up a new level of communication. You become more attuned to the unspoken, more sensitive to the subtle energies that flow between people. This silent attunement allows for deeper understanding and more harmonious interactions. Moreover, when you are grounded in your own inner silence, you become a calming presence for others. Without saying a word, you can help others connect with their own inner peace. This is how you become a transformative force in the world through preaching or persuading, but simply by being a living embodiment of the power of silence. As we delve deeper into this topic, let us consider how the power of silence relates to the creative process. Whether you are an artist, a business person, or simply someone looking to bring more creativity into your life, silence is your greatest ally. In the silence, you tap into the infinite wellspring of creativity that lies within you. Ideas and inspirations arise naturally and unforced. Solutions to problems present themselves effortlessly. The silence clears away the mental clutter that often blocks our creative flow, allowing fresh, original thoughts to emerge. But this creative silence is not just about receiving ideas. It's also about allowing those ideas to gestate and mature. Just as a seed needs the darkness and quiet of the soil to grow, your ideas need time in the silence to develop fully. Resist the urge to immediately act on every idea that comes to you. Instead, hold it gently in the silence, allowing it to unfold naturally. This patience, this trust in the natural unfolding of your creative process, is a powerful application of letting everything come to you naturally. It requires releasing the ego's need for immediate results and trusting in the wisdom of silence. Now, my dear friends, as we approach the conclusion of our exploration, I want to address a question that may be arising in your minds. How do I maintain this connection to silence in a world that seems to demand constant action and noise? The answer lies in understanding that silence is not something you do. It's something you are. It's your natural state, your true essence. The noise and busyness that never truly touch this inner silence. It remains ever present, always available to you. The key is to regularly remind yourself of this truth. Throughout your day, take moments to pause and reconnect with the silence within you. It might be as simple as taking a deep breath and feeling the space between your thoughts, or it could be a longer period of quiet contemplation. As you make this a habit, you'll find that the silence begins to permeate all aspects of your life. It becomes the foundation from which you operate the wellspring of your thoughts, words, and actions. You begin to move through the world with a sense of ease and grace, allowing everything to come to you naturally. Remember, this is not about escaping from the world or denying your experiences. It's about engaging with life from a place of deep inner stillness. From this place, you can fully participate in the dance of life while remaining rooted in the unchanging silence of your being. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a powerful visualization to help you integrate this understanding of the power of silence. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself as a vast, clear lake. The surface of the lake may have ripples caused by the wind of your thoughts and experiences, but beneath the surface, in the depths of the lake, there is perfect stillness. This still depth is your true nature. It remains undisturbed regardless of what happened on the surface. As you go about your day, remember this image. When life becomes turbulent, when your mind becomes noisy, recall the stillness at your core. Let it anchor you, guide you, remind you of your true nature. In conclusion, my beloved audience, remember that the power of silence is always within you. It is not something you need to acquire or achieve. It is your birthright, your true nature. As you learn to dwell in this silence, to let it infuse every aspect of your life, you will find that everything you desire comes to you naturally, effortlessly. You are not separate from your desires. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. In the silence of your being, you are one with all that you seek. Trust in this truth. Rest in the silence. Allow life to unfold naturally, knowing that you are supported by the infinite wisdom and power of the universe. Go forth from here not as seekers, but as knowers. Know the power of silence that resides within you. Know that as you align with this silence, everything you desire must inevitably come to you. For you are not merely human beings subject to the whims of circumstance. You are divine beings, co-creators with the infinite power of the universe. Let the silence be your guide. Let it be the foundation of your thoughts, your words, your actions. As you do this, you will find that life becomes a joyous adventure, a natural unfolding of all that you are meant to be and experience. Thank you for your attention, my friends. May your journey into the power of silence be filled with wonder, joy, and the continual unfolding of your infinite potential. Remember, in the silence, all things are possible. Trust in the silence, and let everything come to you naturally. You see, the way you talk to yourself is not mere idle chatter or inconsequential noise. No, my friends, it is the very foundation upon which your reality is built. Let us begin by understanding the true nature of your being. You are not merely a physical body, bound by the limitations of time and space. You are in essence pure consciousness, the one and only reality. Everything you perceive in your world, everything you experience, is a projection of this consciousness. And the primary tool through which you shape this consciousness is your self-talk. Now you might be thinking, but Neville, surely my circumstances, my past experiences, my current situation, these are real and separate from my thoughts. To this I say, look closer. What you perceive as external reality is nothing more than the outpicturing of your infestations. Your self-talk is the chisel with which you sculpt your life experiences. Consider for a moment the last time you achieved something remarkable. Perhaps it was a promotion at work, a personal milestone, or overcoming a significant challenge. Before that achievement manifested in your physical reality, did you not first conceive of it in your mind? Did you not engage in inner conversations where you saw yourself succeeding, where you felt the joy and satisfaction of your accomplishment. This, my friends, is the power of self-talk. It is the seed from which your reality grows. Just as a farmer must first plant a seed become harvest a closer, so too must plant the seeds of your desires through your inner conversation before you can reap the joy in your external world. But let us deeper into this concept. How exactly does one harness the power of self-talk to turn dreams into reality? The answer lies in understanding and applying the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a certain state to be true, it must become true in your experience. Your self-talk is the primary means through which you make these assumptions. When you consistently talk to yourself as if your desire is already fulfilled, when you engage in inner conversations from the perspective of already being the person you wish to be, having what you wish to have, doing what you wish to do, you are applying the law of assumption that's most potent for. Imagine, if you will, that you desire financial abundance. The common approach might be to affirm, I will be wealthy someday, or money is coming to me. But do you see the flaw in this approach? It places your desire in some indefinite future, reinforcing your current state of lack. Instead, your self-talk should reflect the state of already being financially abundant. Engage in inner conversations where you discuss your wealth with others. Feel the relief and joy of having more than enough. Experience in your imagination the freedom that comes with financial security. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the deliberate use of your imagination, which is nothing less than God in action within you, to reshape your consciousness and consequently your reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what if my current circumstances seem to contradict the reality I'm trying to create through my self-talk? This, my dear friends, is where faith comes into play. Faith is not blind belief in something despite that evidence to the contrary. True faith is the evidence of things not seen in the physical world, but felt and experienced vividly in your imagination. When you engage in self-talk that aligns with your desires, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you must have complete in the reality of your imaginal acts. You must know with unwavering certainty that what you have experienced in your imagination is more real, more true than what your physical senses currently report. This faith, this knowing, is what bridges the gap between your current circumstances and your desired reality. It allows you to persist in your assumption even when the outer world seems to contradict it. For remember, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Change the inner and the outer must conform. Let us now explore the practical application of this principle. How does one cultivate self-talk that turns dreams into reality? The first step is to become aware of your current inner conversations. For many, the self-talk happens unconsciously, a constant stream of thoughts and assumptions that often reinforce limiting beliefs and unwanted circumstances. Begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice the tone of your inner voice, the words you use when talking to yourself about your desires, your capabilities, your worth. Are these conversations aligned with the reality you wish to be? Or do they reflect doubt, fear, or limitation? Once you become aware of your current self-talk patterns, you can begin to consciously shape them. This is where the art of revision comes into play. Revision is not about denying or suppressing your current thoughts. It's about consciously choosing new thoughts, new inner conversations that align with your desired reality. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough to achieve this, revise it immediately. Engage in a new inner conversation where you confidently assert your capabilities. Feel the truth of your worthiness, your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. Remember, my dear friends, you are not lying to yourself when you do this. You are choosing to align yourself with a higher truth, the truth of your unlimited potential as a divine being. You are choosing to identify with your true self rather than the limited ego self that is bound by past experiences and societal conditioning. As you practice this conscious revision of your self-talk, you'll begin to notice a shift in your emotional state. You'll feel more confident, more aligned with your desires, This emotional shift is crucial, for it is your feeling that gives life to your thoughts. It is the feeling that impresses your subconscious mind and sets in motion the creation of your new reality. Now let us address another crucial aspect of effective self-talk, the use of I am statements. The words I am are incredibly powerful, for they are the name of God within you. Whatever follows I am in your self-talk becomes your reality, for you are quite literally naming yourself into existence. When you say I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky, you are creating and reinforcing those states in your experience. Conversely, when you declare I am successful, I am abundant, I am loved, you are calling those realities into being. But here's the key: these I am statements must be more than mere words. They must be felt, experienced, embodied. When you declare I am wealthy, feel the emotions associated with wealth. Experience the sense of security, the joy of abundance, the freedom to live life on your own terms. This feeling, this emotional embodiment of your desire, is what gives power to your self-talk. It is what makes your inner conversations creative rather than just descriptive. For remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. To your subconscious, they are one and the same. Now, my friends, I want to address a common pitfall that many fall into when attempting to change their self-talk. They try to force positive thoughts, to suppress negative ones through sheer willpower. But this approach often leads to inner conflict and frustration. Instead, I propose a gentler and more effective method. Rather than fighting against unwanted thoughts, simply redirect your attention to your desired state. Engage in inner conversations that reflect your wish fulfilled. Do this not with strain or effort, but with the relaxed assurance that what you are imagining is already yours in reality. This ledger of attention is key, for what you focus on expands, and what you withdraw your attention from withers away. By consistently directing your attention through your self-talk to your desired reality, you starve the unwanted conditions of the energy they need to persist in your experience. Remember, the aim is not to never have a negative thought. The aim is to cultivate a new pattern of thinking, a new habitual way of talking to yourself that aligns with your desires. This takes practice and persistence, but with time it becomes as natural as breathing. Let us delve deeper into the concept of living from the end. This principle is crucial in shaping your self-talk to turn your dreams into reality. Living from the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, engaging in inner conversations, as if your desire has already manifested. For instance, if your dream is to become a successful author, your self-talk should reflect the state of already being a successful author. Instead of saying, I hope to be a best-selling author someday, your inner conversations might sound like this: I'm so grateful for the success of my latest book. It's wonderful to receive messages from readers about how my words have impacted their lives. Do you see the difference? In the first instance, you're placing your desire in some indefinite future. In the second, you're experiencing it as a present reality. This is living from the end, and it is one of the most powerful ways to use self-talk to shape your reality. But remember, this is not about deceiving yourself or denying your current circumstances. It's about choosing which reality you give your attention and emotional energy to. It's about aligning your consciousness with the version of you who has already achieved your dreams. As you practice living from the end in your self-talk, you may notice resistance arising. Old beliefs and doubts may surface, questioning the validity of your new inner conversations. This is natural and to be expected. These old patterns of thought have been with you for a long time, and they don't disappear overnight. The key is to persist in your new assumption, regardless of this resistance. Treat these doubts and contradictory thoughts as you would treat background noise. Acknowledge their presence, but don't give them your attention or emotional energy. Instead, gently but firmly return to your desired state, to the inner conversations that reflect your wish fulfilled. Now, my dear friends, I want to address the role of action in turning your dreams into a signal through self-talk. Some might think that if they change their inner conversations, they can sit back and wait for their desires to magically appear. But this is not the case. Action is indeed necessary, but it's important to understand the nature of this action. When you've truly changed your self-talk, when you fully assume the state of your fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with your new reality. These actions won't feel like hard work or struggle. They'll feel natural, almost effortless, because they're in harmony with your new state of being. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, noticing opportunities that you might have overlooked before. This is the difference between action born of anxiety and lack and action inspired by your assumed state of fulfillment. The former is often frantic and ineffective. The latter is purposeful and powerful because it comes from a place of alignment with your desire. Let your self-talk guide your actions. If you're assuming the state of being a successful entrepreneur, for example, ask yourself, what would a successful entrepreneur have done in this situation? Let the answer guide your actions. This way, outer world begins to align with your inner conversations. Now let's explore another powerful aspect of self-talk, the use of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It is a powerful creative force. When you express gratitude in your inner conversations, you are essentially saying to the universe, thank you for this experience. I am ready to receive more. Incorporate gratitude into your self-talk by regularly engaging in inner conversations where you express thankfulness for your desires as if they have already manifested. Feel the emotion of gratitude as vividly as you can. This feeling of gratitude, combined with the assumption of your wish fulfilled, creates a powerful magnetic force, those that draws your desires into your physical reality. For instance, if your dream is to own a beautiful home, your grateful self-talk might sound like this. I am so thankful for this beautiful home. I love the sunlight streams through the windows in the morning. I'm grateful for the peace and comfort I feel here. As you practice this grateful self-talk, you'll notice a shift in your overall state of being. You'll begin to feel more positive, more open to receiving good things in your life. This positive state, in turn, attracts more experience to be grateful for, creating a beautiful cycle of abundance and appreciation. Now, my friends, let us address a common challenge that many face when attempting to change their self-talk, the influence of others. You may find that as you begin to speak to yourself in a new way, assume a state of fulfillment and success, those around you might react with skepticism or even negativity. It's important to remember that others can only ever reflect back to you your own conception of yourself. Their reactions are based on their perception of you, which is in turn based on your past expression. As you change your self-concept through your new self-talk, there may be a period of adjustment where others' perceptions seem to contradict your new state. During this time, it's crucial to persist in your assumption. Continue your newly patterned self-talk, regardless of external circumstances or others' opinions. Remember, you are not changing yourself to conform to the world. You are changing your self-concept, and the world must conform to it. In your interactions with others, maintain inner conversations that align with your desired reality. Even if someone expresses doubt about your ability to achieve your dreams, inwardly assert your new state. Your inner conversation might go something like this: I appreciate their concern, but I know the truth of who I am and what I'm capable of achieving. This persistence in your new self-talk, especially in the face of contradictory circumstances, is what ultimately reshapes your reality. It's the bridge between your current state and your desired state. It's the means by which you impress your subconscious mind with the truth of your newty. Now let us delve into another powerful technique for effective self-talk, the use of questions. The questions you ask yourself shape your focus and consequently your reality. By asking empowering questions in your self-talk, you direct your mind towards solutions and possibilities rather than problems and limitations. For instance, instead of asking yourself, why can't I achieve this? Ask, how can I achieve this in a way that's even better than I imagined? Instead of wondering, what if I fail? Ask yourself, how will I feel when I succeed? These empowering questions stimulate your creativity and open your mind to new possibilities. They assume the possibility of success and direct your focus towards achieving it. Make it a habit to consciously shape the questions you ask yourself in your inner dialogue. Remember, my dear friends, the quality of your life is directly related to the quality of questions you ask yourself. By asking better questions, you engage in more empowering self-talk, which in turn shapes a more empowering reality. Now let us address the concept of patience in relation to your self-talk. Often, when people begin to change their inner conversations, they expect immediate results in their outer world. When these results don't manifest instantly, they may become discouraged and revert to their old patterns of thinking. But remember, just as seed needs time to germinate and grow before it bears fruit, so too does your new self-talk need time to fully manifest in your physical reality. The key is to persist in your assumption, to maintain your new pattern of inner conversation regardless of appearances. This persistence is not about forcing or straining. It's about relaxing into the naturalness of your new state. It's about knowing with unshakable faith that what you have assumed in your imagination and your self-talk must inevitably manifest in your experience. In your self-talk, cultivate an attitude of calm assurance. Instead of anxiously wondering when your desire will manifest, engage in inner conversations that reflect the certainty of its fulfillment. Your self-talk might sound something like this: I'm so grateful that everything always works out perfectly for me. I trust in the perfect timing of the universe. This attitude of trust and assurance in your self-talk creates a state of relaxed receptivity. It allows you to go about your daily life from a place of peace and confidence, knowing that your desire is already yours in reality and must inevitably express itself in your physical experience. Now, my beloved audience, as we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize the importance of consistency in your self-talk. Changing your inner conversations is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It's about cultivating a new habit of thought, a new way of communing with yourself and with the divine power within you. Make it a point to consciously check in with your self-talk throughout the day. Notice the tone, the words, the underlying assumptions in your inner conversations. Are they aligned with your desires? Are they reflecting the state of your wish fulfilled? If not, gently but firmly redirect them. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the one who can choose which thoughts to entertain and which to let go. This power of choice is your divine birthright, and exercising it through conscious self-talk is one of the most powerful ways to shape your reality. As you consistently practice this new way of talking to yourself, you'll begin to notice changes not just in your inner world, but in your outer experiences as well. Opportunities will seem to arise out of nowhere. Synchronicities will become more frequent. You'll find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your desired reality. These outer changes are the natural result of your inner transformation. They are the physical manifestation of the new state you have assumed through your self-talk. Celebrate these changes, for they are proof of the power of your inner conversations. In conclusion, my dear friends, remember that your self-talk is the most intimate and powerful conversation you will ever have. It is the means by which you communicate with the divine power within you, the creative force that shapes your reality. Choose your words wisely. Speak to yourself with love, with confidence, with unwavering faith in your ability to achieve your dreams. Engage in inner conversations that reflect the reality you wish to experience. Live from the end in your self-talk, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And above all, persist. Persist in your new assumptions. Persist in your empowering self-talk. Persist in your faith that what you have imagined and felt to be true must inevitably manifest in your experience. For you are not merely human beings subject to the whims of chance and circumstance. You are divine beings, co-creators with the infinite power of the universe. Your self-talk is your tool of creation, your means of shaping your reality according to your desires. Go forth now not as seekers of your dreams, but as conscious creators of your reality. For the power to turn your dreams into reality lies not in some external force, but in the words you speak to yourself, in the inner conversations you chose to entertain. Thank you for your attention, my friends. May your journey of self-discovery through conscious self be filled with joy, wonder, and the continual unfolding of your infinite potential. The world you perceive around you is not separate from you, but a reflection of your inner state. Your consciousness is the only reality, and what you hold in your mind and heart manifests in your experience. This is the fundamental principle that underpins all creation, including what we commonly refer as luck. Now you might be thinking, but Neville, I've seen people who seem naturally who effortlessly effort good fortune. How can this be if luck is a state of consciousness? To this I say, look closer. Those who appear naturally lucky are often those who consciously or unconsciously have aligned their inner state with the very essence of good fortune. They expect good things to happen to them. They approach life with a sense of optimism and possibility. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. In short, they have cultivated a lucky state of consciousness, and the outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner reality. So how does one cultivate this state of consciousness? How does one become the luckiest person in the world? The answer, my friends, lies in the power of your imagination and your ability to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Imagine, if you will, what it would feel like to be the luckiest person in the world. Close your eyes for a moment and really feel it. How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? How would you react to the events of your day? You see, when you assume the feeling of being lucky, when you live from that state, you begin to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. You become more open to synchronicities and coincidences that seem to work in your favor. You start to make decisions from a place of confidence and expectation of positive outcomes. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the deliberate use of your imagination to reshape his consciousness and consequently your reality. Remember, your imagination or the fantasy spinning machine is the very workshop wherein your world is created. Now let us delve deeper into the practical application of this principle. To be the luckiest person in the world, you must first redefine what luck means to you. Is it financial abundance, harmonious relationships, perfect health, exciting opportunities? Whatever it may be, you must create a clear mental image of what being lucky looks like in your life. Once you have this image, your task is to make it so vivid, so real in your imagination, that when you open your eyes, you are surprised to find that it hasn't yet materialized in your physical reality. This is the art of living from the end, experiencing in your imagination the fulfillment of your desire with such intensity that it becomes your dominant mental state. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance as a manifestation of your luck. Instead of anxiously worrying about bills or constantly affirming that money will come to you, you must assume the state of already being financially abundant. In your imagination, feel the relief and joy of having more than enough money. Experience the freedom of being able to buy what you want when you want it. Feel the satisfaction of being generous with your wealth. Make this imaginal act so real that you can almost feel the crisp bills in your hand or see the impressive figures in your bank account. As you practice this, you'll notice a shift in your consciousness. You'll begin to feel more relaxed about money. You'll start to notice financial opportunities that you might have overlooked before. You'll make decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. And gradually your outer world will reshape itself to match this new inner reality. But remember, my dear friends, this practice is not about forcing or straining. It's about allowing yourself to feel the naturalness of your desired state. The luckiest person in the world doesn't constantly think about being lucky, they simply are. They live from that state effortlessly, naturally, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about hard work and effort? Surely luck isn't everything. And to this I say, inspired action is indeed a crucial part of manifestation. But this action comes from a different place than mere toil and struggle. When you truly embody the state of being the luckiest person in the world, you'll find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with this state. These actions won't feel like hard work. They'll feel joyful, exciting, almost effortless. You'll be in the flow, so to speak, riding the wave of your good fortune. This is the difference between working hard to become lucky and taking inspired action because you are lucky. The former is an uphill battle. The latter is a joyous unfolding. Choose the latter, my friends, and watch as the universe conspires to support your every move. Now let us address a common misconception about luck. Many believe that to be lucky means to have everything go your way all the time. But this is not the case. The truly lucky person is not one who never faces challenges, but one who sees every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, as an opportunity for growth and advancement. In fact, what others might call bad luck often turns out to be a blessing in disguise for the person who knows themselves to be inherently lucky. They trust in the perfect unfolding of their life, knowing that every experience is bringing them closer to the full realization of their desires. This trust, this unshakable faith in your own good fortune, is a crucial aspect of being the luckiest person in the world. It allows you to remain calm and centered, even in the face of apparent setbacks. It gives you the confidence to take risks and seize opportunities that others might shy away from. But how does one cultivate this trust? Through persistent assumption of your desired state. By continuously living from the end, experiencing in your imagination the reality of being the luckiest person in the flight club, you build an unshakable conviction in your good fortune. This conviction becomes your dominant state, coloring all your perceptions and experiences. You begin to luck everywhere, not because external circumstances have changed, but because you have changed. Your consciousness has shifted, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect this shift. Now, my friends, I want to address something that often comes up when we discuss the idea of creating our own luck. Some ask, if we create our own reality, does that mean those who experience misfortune are to blame for their circumstances? This is a nuanced question that requires a compassionate understanding. While it's true that our dominant states of consciousness shape our experiences, we are not always consciously aware of all our beliefs and assumptions, especially deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind. Moreover, we are part of a collective consciousness, and sometimes we experience events that reflect with beliefs rather than individual ones. The key is not to judge or blame, but to recognize that no matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, we always have the power to choose our response. This choice, the choice of how to perceive and respond to our experiences, is where our true power lies. The luckiest person in the world is not one who never faces challenges, but one who sees every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. So if you find yourself in circumstances that seem unlucky, do not despair. Instead, ask yourself, how can I use this experience to cultivate the state of being lucky? What opportunity for growth and transformation is hidden within this challenge? By reframing your experiences in this way, you begin to shift your consciousness. You move from a state of victimhood to a state of empowerment. And as your consciousness shifts, so too will your experiences. Now let us delve deeper into the practical aspects of embodying the state of being the luckiest person in the world. One powerful practice is to start your day by assuming this state. As soon as you wake up, before you engage with the outside world, take a few moments to feel the reality of being incredibly lucky. Feel the excitement of knowing that wonderful opportunities await you. Feel the confidence of knowing that everything will work out in your favor. Feel the joy of living a charmed life. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being. As you go about your day, maintain this feeling. When you interact with others, do so from the state of being lucky. When you make decisions, make them from this state. When challenges arise, face them from this state. You'll be amazed at how this simple practice can transform your day. You'll start to notice synchronicities and fortuitous events. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. Opportunities will seem to fall into your lap. This is not coincidence, this is the outer world conforming to your inner state. Another powerful practice is to review your day through the lens of luck before you go to sleep. Reflect on all the ways in which you were lucky that day. Even seemingly small things, finding a parking spot easily, receiving a compliment, enjoying a delicious meal, can be seen as manifestations of your luck. By focusing on these experiences of luck, you reinforce the state of being lucky in your consciousness. You're essentially telling your subconscious mind, this is who I am. I am the luckiest person in the world. And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, will work tirelessly to make this statement a reality. Now, some of you might be wondering, but Neville, what if I don't feel lucky? What if my current circumstances seem to contradict the idea that I'm the luckiest person in the world? This, my friends, is where the real work begins. This is where you must exercise your faith in your imagination. Remember, your imagination is more real than the world of physical senses. What you imagine and feel to be true is more powerful than what your physical senses report. So even if your current circumstances seem unlucky, you have the power to imagine and feel a different reality. This is not about denying your current experiences, but about choosing which experiences you give your attention and emotional energy to. By consistently focusing on and feeling the reality of being lucky, despite any seeming contradictions in your physical world, you begin to shift your state of consciousness. And as your consciousness shifts, your experiences must follow suit. Think of it like tuning a radio. Just as you tune into different frequencies to receive different stations, you can tune your consciousness to different states to experience different qualities. By persistently tuning into the frequency of luck and good fortune, you begin to receive experiences that match this frequency. Now let's address another important aspect of being the luckiest person in the world, gratitude. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a powerful creative force. When you're grateful, you're essentially saying to the universe, thank you for this, and please send more. The luckiest person in the world is deeply grateful for everything in their life. Not just the big obvious blessings, but also the small, everyday miracles that we often take for granted. They're grateful for the air they breathe, for the ground beneath their feet, for the ability to think and feel and experience life. This attitude of gratitude creates a positive feedback loop. The more grateful you are, the more you notice things to be grateful for. The more you notice these things, the luckier you feel. The luckier you feel, the more fortunate experiences you attract. It's a beautiful, self-perpetuating cycle of good fortune. So make gratitude a daily practice. Each morning when you wake up, and each night before you go to sleep, take a few moments to count your blessings. Feel the genuine emotion of thankfulness for all that is good in your life. And don't just be grateful for what you have for what's coming, for the desires that are concerns. This practice of being grateful in advance is another way of living from the end. It reinforces your assumption of being the luckiest person in the world. It aligns your consciousness with the reality of your fulfilled life. Now, my dear friends, as we continue our exploration of how to be the luckiest person in the world, I want to touch upon the concept of detachment. This might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, if you want to be lucky, shouldn't you be intensely focused on and attached to that desire? But here's a paradox. True manifestation comes from the place of detachment. When you're overly attached to a specific outcome, when you're anxiously wondering when and how your luck will manifest, you're actually pushing it away. You're operating from a state of lack, of not having, which contradicts the state of being lucky. The luckiest person in the world doesn't wonder when their luck will come. They know they are already lucky. They trust in the perfect unfolding of their life. They're detached from specific outcomes because they know that whatever comes their way is for their highest good. This detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means trusting so completely in your good fortune that you relax and enjoy the journey that everything is working out perfectly for you. It's the confident expectation of a child on Christmas Eve, excited for the gifts to come, but not anxious or doubtful. Cultivating this state of relaxed confidence is key to being the luckiest person in the world. It allows you to be open to possibilities that you might not have considered. It enables you to recognize opportunities that you might have overlooked if you were fixated on a particular outcome. So how does one cultivate this state of detached expectation? Through regular practice of your imaginal acts. By consistently assuming the feeling of being lucky, by living from that state in your imagination, you build an unshakable confidence in your good fortune. This confidence allows you to relax, to let go of the how and the when. You know that your luck is assured, so you can release the anxiety and the need to control. And ironically, it's in this state of relaxed allowing that your luck often manifests most powerfully. Now let's discuss another crucial aspect of being the luckiest person in the world, your self-concept. Your self-concept is the collection of beliefs you hold about yourself. It's your idea of who you are. And it's this self-concept that determines the experiences you allow into your life. If deep down you believe you're unlucky or undeserving of good fortune, you'll subconsciously block or sabotage lucky experiences. On the other hand, if you truly see yourself as lucky, as deserving of good things, you'll naturally attract and those fortunate experiences into your life. So a key part of becoming the luckiest person in the world is revising your self-concept. You must see yourself as inherently lucky, as someone for whom things always work out well. This isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about aligning your self-concept with the truth of your divine nature. Remember, you are a creative being, made in the image of the divine creator. You are inherently worthy of all good things. Luck is your birthright. When you truly internalize this understanding, when you make it a part of your self-concept, you naturally become a magnet for good fortune. One powerful way to revise your self-concept is through the use of I am statements. These are not mere affirmations to be repeated mindlessly. They are declarations of your true nature to be felt and embodied. Try this, close your eyes and say to yourself, I am the luckiest person in the world. Say it not as something you hope to be true, but as a statement of fact. Feel the truth of it in every cell of your body. Let it resonate in your very being. As you practice this, you may notice resistance coming up. Old beliefs of unworthiness or bad luck might surface. Don't fight these thoughts. Simply observe them, thank them for their past service, and gently return to your I am statement. Remember, what you resist persists, but what you embrace and integrate loses its power over you. Now, my friends, I want to address a question that often arises when we discuss creating our own luck. Some ask, if I focus on being lucky, am I being selfish? Shouldn't I be more concerned with helping others? To this, I say, becoming the luckiest person in the world is the most selfless thing you can do. When you embody this state of good fortune, when you live from this consciousness, you naturally uplift everyone around you. Think about it when you're feeling lucky. When everything is going well for you, aren't you more generous, more kind, more patient with others? Don't you have more to give, both materially and energetically? Your good fortune overflows and touches the lives of everyone you encounter. Moreover, by demonstrating that it's possible to create your own luck, you inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of the potential that exists within each of us to shape our reality. In this way, your personal transformation becomes a catalyst for collective evolution. So never feel guilty about focusing on your own good fortune. Know that as you elevate yourself, you elevate the world. As you become luckier, you create a field of lucky possibilities for others to step into. Now let's explore another important aspect of being the luckiest person in the world, the concept of divine timing. Often when people try to manifest luck or good fortune, they become impatient. They want everything to happen immediately, and when it doesn't, they lose faith. But the truly lucky person understands and trusts in divine timing. They know that everything happens at the perfect moment, even if that moment isn't always clear to their human understanding. This trust in divine timing comes from a deep knowing that the universe is always working in your favor. It's the understanding that sometimes what seems a delay or a detour is actually the universe setting up the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest in the best possible way. When you trust in divine timing, you release the anxiety and frustration that comes from trying to force things to happen on your timeline. So you allow yourself to relax into the perfect unfolding of your good fortune. And ironically, it's often when you release this need for immediate results that things start manifesting more quickly and easily. So how does one cultivate this trust in divine timing? Through persistence in your assumption. By consistently living from the state of being the luckiest person in the world. Regardless of appearances, you build an unshakable faith in the perfect unfolding of your life. This persistence doesn't mean constantly thinking about being lucky or obsessing over when your luck will manifest. It means maintaining the feeling of being lucky, the state of consciousness of someone whose life is charmed, even as you go about your daily activities. It's like planting a seed. Once you plant the seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You continue to water it and provide the right conditions, knowing that in due time it will sprout and flourish. Similarly, once you plant the seed of being the luckiest person in the world in your consciousness, you must have faith in the process. Continue to nurture it with your attention and emotion, but release the anxiety about when or how it will fully manifest. Now, my dear friends, as we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize the things of taking inspired action. While the inner work of imagination and assumption is crucial, it must be paired with outer action for full manifestation of your luck. However, this action comes from a different place than conventional goal setting or striving. It comes from a place of alignment with your assumed state of being the luckiest person in the world. When you truly live from this state, you'll find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with your good fortune. These inspired actions often feel effortless and joyful. They may not always make logical sense to your rational being, but they will feel right way on a deeper level. Trust these inspirations. Act on them promptly and decisively. Remember, you're not taking action to make yourself lucky. You're taking action because, as the luckiest person in the world, this is simply what you would naturally do. This subtle shift in perspective makes up the difference. As we conclude, I want to remind you of the immense power you hold within you. You are not at the mercy of chance or circumstance. You are the creator of your reality, the author of your fortune. Your focus, your imagination, your assumptions shape the world you experience. Choose wisely what you give your attention to. Cultivate thoughts and feelings that align with being the luckiest person in the world. Live from that state, assuming the feeling of your wish to practice gratitude, revive your self-concept, trust in divine timing, and take inspired action. And above all, persist in your assumption. Persist in your faith. Persist in your faith you are indeed the luckiest person in the world. For remember, your consciousness is the only reality, and you are that consciousness. You are the operant power in your life. You are the source of your own good fortune. Embrace this truth, live from this understanding, and watch as your life transforms in wonderful and unexpected ways. Go forth now, not as seekers of luck, but as embodiments of it. Not as hopeful dreamers, but as conscious creators of your own life. For you are the power, you are the luck. You are the divine expression of fashion itself. Thank you for your attention, my friends. May your journey of becoming the luckiest person in the world be filled with joy, wonder, and the continual unfolding of your infinite potential. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is a garden. Every thought you enter and entertain, every belief you nurture, is a seed planted in this fertile soil of consciousness. And just as surely as a planted seed grows into a flower or a tree, your thoughts and beliefs grow into the circumstances of your life. Now I ask you, what seeds are you planting in this garden of your mind? Are they seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation? Or are they seeds of faith, love, and infinite possibility? For make no mistake, my dear friends, the harvest of your life will be determined by the seeds you sow in the present moment. But how, you may ask, does this process work? How does the invisible realm of thought translate into the visible realm of experience? The answer lies in the very nature of consciousness itself. You see, consciousness is the only reality. The world you perceive around you is not separate from you, but a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this truth, when you internalize it not just as an intellectual concept, but as a lived experience, you will hold in your hands the key to unlocking the treasure house of the universe. For if consciousness is the only reality, and your thoughts shape your consciousness, then by controlling your thoughts, you control your reality. Let me illustrate this with a simple exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a lemon. See its vibrant yellow skin. Feel its waxy texture beneath your fingers. Now imagine cutting this lemon in half, the juice running down your hands. Bring the lemon to your lips and take a big bite. What happened? Did you not feel your mouth water? Did you not experience the tangy sensation as if you had actually bitten into a lemon? And yet there was no physical lemon. It was all in your imagination. This, my friends, is the power of focused thought. Your body responded to an imaginary stimulus as if it were real. Now extend this understanding to every aspect of your life. Just as your body responded to the imagined lemon, the universe responds to your focused thoughts and beliefs. If you consistently focus on lack, you will experience lack. If you consistently focus on abundance, you will experience abundance. But remember, it is not enough to merely think positive thoughts in a superficial manner. True transformation comes from a deeper place. It comes from assumption. You must assume the feeling of wishful wish fulfilled. You must live from the end, experiencing in your imagination the reality you desire as if it were already manifest. Let's delve deeper into this concept of assumption. When I speak of assumption, I am not referring to mere positive thinking or affirmations. I am speaking of a total transformation of your inner state. You must become in consciousness the person you wish to be in reality. Suppose you desire financial abundance. It is not enough to simply repeat affirmations about wealth. You must assume the state of wealth consciousness. How would you feel if you were already financially abundant? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? You see, the outer world is a mirror reflecting your inner assumptions. If you assume poverty, if you live in a state of lack consciousness, the outer world will faithfully reflect this back to you. But if you assume abundance, if you live from the state of wealth consciousness, the universe has no choice but to reshape itself to match your assumption. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. It is not about wishing for things to change. It is about changing yourself first, in consciousness, and allowing the outer world to conform to your new state of being. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, I have tried positive thinking before, and nothing changed. To this I say you have not yet grasped the power of your imagination. You have not yet learned to live from the end. Living from the end means experiencing in your imagination, with all the vividness of reality, the state you desire to manifest. It means feeling the feelings, thinking the thoughts, and even performing the actions in your mind's eye as if your desire were already fulfilled. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire a promotion at work. Instead of anxiously wondering if you will get the promotion or desperately affirming that you will, you must assume the state of already having received the promotion. In your imagination, feel the satisfaction of sitting in your new office. Experience the pride as you tell your loved ones about your new position. Feel the weight of the increased responsibility and the excitement of new challenges. Make this imaginal act so real that when you open your eyes, you are surprised to find yourself back in your current circumstances. This, my friends, is the art of living from the end. And when you master this art, you will have mastered the art of deliberate creation. For your outer world has no choice but to reshape itself to match your inner experience. But some of you may be wondering, what about action? Don't we need to take action to achieve our goals? And to this, I say inspired action will naturally flow from your assumed state. When you truly live from the end, when you fully embody the consciousness of your desire fulfilled, you will be guided to take precisely the right actions at precisely the right time. You see, action taken from a state of lack or desperation is rarely effective. It is often frantic, misguided, and ultimately futile. But action taken from a state of fulfillment, from the calm certainty that your desire is already yours, is powerful beyond measure. This is why I say that changing your concept of self is the most important work you can do. For when you change your concept of self, when you assume a new state of consciousness, everything else changes automatically. Your actions, your decisions, your very way of being in the world shift to align with your new self-concept. Now let us explore some practical tips for personal growth based on this understanding. The first and most crucial step is to become aware of your current mental diet. What thoughts do you habitually entertain? What beliefs do you hold about yourself and the world? Are these thoughts and beliefs serving you, or are they limiting you? Most people through life on autopilot, unconsciously repeating the same patterns of thought day after day. But you, my dear friends, are not most people. You are here because you seek transformation. And transformation begins with awareness. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice the running commentary in your mind. Is it supportive and empowering, or is it critical and discouraging? Remember that these thoughts are the seeds you are planting in the garden of your faith. Choose them wisely. Once you become aware of your thought patterns, the next step is to consciously choose new thoughts that align with your desires. But remember, it's not about forcing yourself to think positively. It's about choosing thoughts that feel natural and true to you. If you currently believe that you are unworthy of love, for example, trying to force yourself to believe I am worthy of love might feel inauthentic and create inner resistance. Instead, you might start with a thought that feels more believable, such as I am open to the possibility that I am worthy of love. As you consistently focus on this new thought, as you nurture it and give it your attention, it will grow stronger. Eventually, it will become your dominant belief, replacing the old limiting belief. This process of consciously choosing your thoughts is the foundation of personal growth. It is the art of mental gardening, of cultivating the mind to produce the harvest you desire in your life. But thought alone is not enough. To truly transform your life, you must combine thought with feeling. This is where the power of imagination to play. Your imagination is the bridge between thought and feeling. It is the creative power that can make your desires feel real to you before they manifest in the physical world. I urge you to set aside time each day for conscious imagination. Create a mental scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. For instance, if you desire a loving relationship, imagine yourself in a scene where you are with your perfect partner. Feel the warmth of their embrace. Hear their loving words. Experience the joy and contentment of being in a fulfilling relationship. As you practice this imaginal act, you will notice something remarkable. The feelings generated by your imagination will begin to spill over into your waking life. You will start to feel more loved, more worthy of love, even before a physical relationship manifests. This is the power of living from the end. By consistently assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are reshaping your consciousness. As your consciousness changes, your reality must change to match it. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what if negative thoughts and doubts creep in? What if I can't maintain this positive focus all the time? My friends, this is a natural part of the process. The key is not to fight against negative thoughts or to berate yourself for having them. Instead, gently redirect your focus back to your desired state. Think of it like training a puppy. When the puppy wanders off, you don't punish it. You gently guide it back to where you want it to be. Treat your mind with the same patience and kindness. When you notice your thoughts straying towards doubt or fear, simply guide them back to your desired state. Remember, what you resist persists. Fighting against negative thoughts only gives them more power. Instead, acknowledge them without judgment, and then choose to focus on thoughts that serve you better. This brings us to another crucial aspect of personal growth: self-love and self-acceptance. Many people make the mistake of thinking they need to change themselves in order to be worthy of love or success. But the truth is, true transformation comes from a place of self-acceptance, not self-rejection. You are in this moment perfect and united. Yes, you may desire to grow and evolve, but this desire comes from a place of love for yourself, not from a place of lack or unworthiness. When you truly love and accept yourself as you are, you create the fertile soil from which all growth springs. Practice looking at yourself through eyes of love. Speak to yourself with kindness and compassion. Celebrate your strengths and accept your perceived weaknesses with equal grace. For it is only when you fully accept yourself that you give yourself permission to say and change. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in personal growth. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It is a powerful creative force. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you are effectively telling the universe, more of this, please. Make gratitude a daily practice. Each morning when you wake up and each night before you go to sleep, take a few moments to count your blessings. Feel the genuine emotion of thankfulness for all that is good in your life. But don't stop at being grateful for what you already have. Practice gratitude for what is coming, for the desires that are in the process of manifesting. Feel thankful for them as if they were already here. This is another way of living from the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude, you will find that more and more things come into your life for which to be grateful. It becomes a beautiful, self-perpetuating cycle of abundance and joy. Now, my dear friends, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing the law of attraction and the power of focused thought. Some ask if our thoughts create our reality. Are we responsible for everything that happens to us, even the bad things? This is a nuanced question that requires a compassionate understanding. While it's true that our dominant thoughts and beliefs shape our experience, we are not always consciously aware of all our beliefs, especially those deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind. Moreover, we are part of a collective consciousness, and sometimes events occur that reflect collective beliefs rather than individual ones. The key is not to blame yourself for undesired circumstances, but to recognize that you always have the power to choose your response to any situation. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience for my growth? This shift in perspective transforms challenges into opportunities for evolution and self-discovery. Remember, every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, is an opportunity to know yourself more deeply and to consciously choose who you want to be. In this way, even seemingly negative experiences can be transmuted into catalysts for personal growth. Now let us delve into the concept of persistence. Personal growth is not always a smooth, linear process. There will be times when you feel as if nothing is changing, when your desired reality seems far away. It is in these moments that persistence becomes crucial. Persistence doesn't mean forcing or struggling. It means maintaining your assumption regardless of appearances. It means continuing to live from the end, even when the outer world hasn't yet caught up with your inner reality. Think of it like planting a seed. Once you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You continue to water it and provide the right conditions, knowing that due time it will sprout and flourish. Similarly, once you plant the seed of your desire in your consciousness through your imaginal acts, you must have faith in the process. Continue to nurture it with your attention and emotion, but release the anxiety about when or how it will manifest. This release, this letting go, is not indifference. It is deep trust in the perfect unfolding of your desire. It is the confident expectation of a child on Christmas Eve, knowing that their gifts will be there in the morning. As you persist in your assumption, as you continue to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will begin to notice changes. At first, they may be subtle, a shift in your mood, a new idea, an unexpected opportunity. These are signs that your outer world is beginning to conform to your inner state. Celebrate these signs, no matter how small they may seem. Your gratitude and excitement will further amplify the manifestation process. But don't become attached to these specific signs. Keep your focus on the end result, on the complete fulfillment of your desire. Now I want to address a common pitfall in personal growth, the trap of constantly seeking outside yourself for answers or validators. While books, teachers, and techniques can be valuable tools, true transformation always comes from within. You are the operant power in your life. No one else can do your imagining for you. No one else can assume your desired state for you. The power to change your life lies within your own consciousness. This is why I often say, go within. All the wisdom of the universe, all the power you need to transform your life is already within you. Your task is not to acquire something new, but to awaken to what you already are. When you go within, when you quiet the chatter of the external world and listen to the voice of your own being, you tap into an infinite source of wisdom and power. This is the essence of meditation and contemplation, not to achieve some special state, but to become aware of your true nature. In this state of inner quietude, you may receive insights for inspirations. Trust these. Act on them. They are your inner guidance leading you towards the fulfillment of your desires. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate inner peace, clarity, and joy, your outer world will inevitably reflect these qualities back to you. This is why personal growth is the most powerful way to change your life circumstances. Now let us talk about the importance of living in the present moment. Many people postpone their happiness, thinking, I'll be happy when I get that job or find that relationship or achieve that goal. But this is a trap, my friends. It keeps you always chasing, never arriving. The secret is to find joy in the present moment, even as you work towards your desires. Remember, your point of power is always in the present. It is only in the now that you can choose your thoughts, feel your emotions, and take inspired action. Moreover, when you learn to enjoy the journey, to find satisfaction in the process of growth itself, you open yourself to even greater possibilities. You become detached from specific outcomes, which paradoxically makes those outcomes more likely to manifest. This doesn't mean you abandon your desires or become complacent. It means you trust in the perfect unfolding of your life, knowing that every moment is bringing you closer to the full expression of your true self. As we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize the importance of taking inspired action. While the inner work of imagination and assumption is crucial, it must be paired with outer action for full manifestation. However, this action comes from a different place than conventional goal setting or striving. It comes from a place of alignment with your assumed state, when you truly lie from the end. When you fully embody the consciousness of your desire fulfilled, you will be naturally inspired to take the right actions at the right times. These inspired actions often feel effortless, joyous, may not make logical sense to your rational meaning, but they will feel right on a deeper level. Trust these inspirations. Act on them promptly and decisively. Remember, you are not taking action to make your desire happen. You are taking action because in your assumed reality, this is simply what you naturally do. This subtle shift in perspective makes all the difference. In conclusion, my dear friends, I want to remind you of the immense power you hold within you. You are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but the creator of your reality. Your focus, your imagination, your assumptions shape the world you experience. Choose wisely what you give your attention to. Cultivate thoughts and feelings that align with your desires. Live from the end, assuming the state of your wish fulfilled. Practice gratitude, self-love, and present moment awareness. Take inspired action from a place of alignment and joy. And above all, persist. Persist in your assumption, persist in your faith, persist in your knowledge that what you seek is already yours in consciousness. For remember, consciousness is the only reality, and you are that consciousness. You are the operant power in your life. You are the miracle you seek. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding. and watch as your life transforms in wonderful and unexpected ways. Go forth now, not as seekers, but as finders. Not as hopeful dreamers, but as conscious creators. For you are the power, you are the miracle. You are the divine expression of life itself. Thank you for your attention, my friends. May your journey of personal growth be filled with joy, wonder, and the continual unfolding of your infinite potential.